There's just a lack of care for other people. Here, and we have an awesome spot. Like, you should see how close we are. I'll show you in a second, but... Hello and welcome back. We are on the way to the Terracotta Warriors now. It was an hour drive from Xi'an, but I wouldn't know it because these Chinese cars are so comfortable. I slept the whole way here. I've just woken up about 2 minutes out from the excavation site, so we're about to hop out of the car and go into the museum site now. So yeah, let's have a look at the Terracotta Warriors in Xi'an, China. So we're here at the Terracotta Warriors in Xi'an, just outside, about an hour outside Xi'an. We called a DD here. Didn't cost too much, about 70 yuan to get the DD here earlier. Took about an hour or so, and we've arrived here in this beautiful site. That is pit number 2 behind me, the most recently discovered pit. This is still an ongoing process. They're still finding so many things here, but to catch you up quickly before we go inside and look, what are the Terracotta Warriors? They are a created terracotta carved army for the emperor of the time of 300 years BC, so 2,324 years ago minimum, probably before that. He crafted an army of, so far we know, about 8,000, but it could be significantly more because we haven't discovered more of it, to protect him in the afterlife, along with 70,000 predicted living humans who were put inside this complex, entombed upon his death with him to carry on and assist him in the afterlife. So a lot of stuff has gone into this. It was covered and buried and only rediscovered in 1974 by a farmer who was just chilling in the area, dug a little bit, found one of these warriors and thought, oh, I have to tell somebody about it. So that's what this place is. A lot of history behind it. The emperor himself is thought to have unified China. He's quite a big figure in Chinese history. Of course, there were battles and different things since then, but at the time he brought all the different groups together to form the first Chinese dynasty, or one of the first big Chinese dynasties that was unified. And as a result, yeah, they still haven't found his mausoleum site. So whilst there are 3 major dig sites here where you can actually see the Terracotta Warriors, they've been looking for 50 years to try and find where he is buried, and they still can't find it. Maybe somebody knows and they're not telling. Maybe not. Maybe there's some mysteries in there from 2,000 years ago that we don't want to know about, the public don't need to know about, or maybe we just haven't found him yet. But this is what we have found. Terracotta Warriors, considered the 8th wonder of the world and one of the best sites to travel to when you're traveling. So let's go check it out. All right, we're in, and I thought in the spirit of China, when picking my bottle of water, I would pick this clear Evian knockoff. It's clearly an Evian knockoff, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like exactly the same logo and everything. I've seen it around, so let's see if it tastes as good as Evian, which tastes like every other water. So I'm not entirely sure where to go, but we're just going to follow the group, the tour groups, which there is a lot.
Did you go look at the map?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
And see.
Sure?
Yeah.
It seems like there's many options where to go.
Hmm?
It seems like there's a lot of options as to where to go.
Yeah, it does. Let's have a look and see what this sign says up here. We're approaching the first dig site now. Hopefully, there's a lot of people, but I feel like people will move through it fairly quickly based on what it looks like. So we have been approached by about 10 guards at this point. Guides, sorry, not guards. Some getting a little upset when we say no, but that's just the way it is, isn't it?
We get in here?
Yeah, we can
This
go.
is the end. Okay.
Yeah. Josie, stay with me.
Why?
Don't break through them, we're going to be split up. Just go together. See? I take a lot of pleasure and enjoyment from cutting off people who push in. So China's a great country to travel in for that. You're all walking to the same spot, you know. But walking to the first site right now. Yeah, there's someone commented that just then. Gotta fit in. stupid, seriously. You're all going to the same place. Alright, let's see our first pit inside here. Wow, it already looks impressive. Oh my god, oh my god. There is nowhere to see. Wow. Oh, look, all the way around. You can go all around and everything.
Let's go like that.
Oh, look. Wow. And that's them. Wow. And you can see them all just caught up here. Imagine what that farmer found the first time. Just crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this one of those?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
go.
No, it is beautiful. So we've done when in Rome and pushed our way to the very front here, and we have an awesome spot. Like, you should see how close we are. I'll show you in a second, but I'm meters from like the faces and the intricate features of these guys. You can see here, just incredible. And I will zoom in for you as well, so you can see it. Just so much here. No, I'm good. It is crazy stuff, seriously. To think that these things were formed, like, I'm not Christian, Josie's not Christian, but our lives and the calendars we've grown up on exist on a Christian calendar, right? So for us, 2,000 years is like, 2,024 years ago is the start of a lot of the learnings and teachings and things, and this is older than that. This is older than the entire like structure of society that we live in. That's pretty crazy. And there's some horses in there as well. There's even some structures in the side as well. Definitely worth coming to. And it's just pandemonium, people everywhere, people pushing in every gap. But I do feel safe. Normally, if I'm in a situation like this anywhere else in another country, I'm guarding my pockets, I'm bringing a zip-up shorts, something like that. But here, we're sweet. We're good. Hello. But it's just incredible. Absolutely, like, mind-blowing stuff. I can't begin to tell you how like just pandemonium it is though. I don't know if there'll be a right time to come, if I'm being honest. I couldn't tell you if there'd be a correct time to come and see this. I think it would be this busy all the time, just based on my experiences in China. Maybe if you're first in the morning, there might be like 10% less people, but you're always going to get the people trying to come in the morning. So it is what it is, right? A good tactic though, I would say, the tour groups line up along this fence. So the moment a tour group moves, you should wait at the back on this wall, and when a tour group goes, you go in their place, like this, and you can have a little bit of a look. So you can see some of the destroyed remains here as well. I'll zoom in for you. You can see some of the destroyed remains in here. Where'd Josie go? She's gone. Okay. Well, Josie's gone, so we've officially lost Josie somehow. So who knows where she's ended up. She's gone and done her own thing, as she does. No, I don't want you to go that way, camera. I want you to come back here. So I have to find her now. wherever she is. Let me pull my phone out and see. So these guys here are out to do some sort of process, maybe cleaning of some sort. But you can even see the older ones here that are being like handled now. If I have a little bit of a zoom in for you. Run the gap. You can even see like the cutouts there as well. There was something there. If not people, there was something there. Probably been looted in that time. These are like headless horses, so the horses' heads have been taken. I wonder what, if anyone in the comments can tell me what's being done with the watering cans. Is it more excavation? Is this happening as we like speak? Is they still excavating this? Because it looks like they are. The things are still uncovered over there. And these are the most intact ones I've heard. Oh no, these are the replicated ones. They're taking the bits and they're putting...
Wait, why are they pulling them out of the ground?
Because they're taking the bits, the crumbled bits, and putting them back together to decide which one is which.
But just leave it in the ground. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I like that.
They're trying to see, like, who knows? There could be a clue. Maybe one of them looks different than the rest of them. Could be a clue to something. Like, this is just study of human civilization, isn't it?
Yeah.
These guys are actively working on the site, whatever they're doing now. I've never seen watering cans in this process before, though. So, if you know, tell me. You can just see these are the big fellas here. They're really tall ones. That's just crazy. So we're in pit number 3 now. And this one's interesting. A lot of the heads are taken on this one. I think this is the one that is famous for the looting.
Why is it so much lower than the other one?
It might have been the first one. I'm not sure. But if you look down here, you'll see there's also a floor below them. And these carvings where they've left these like inserts in the walls would have been what was expected here.
Would have been what do you mean by that?
How there's like how it was built. Like it would have been built like this. Which is pretty insane if you ask me. So there they are. There's the fellas down there. And the purpose of them is to guard the emperor.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I mean, I remembered facts about the numbers, not about who the guy was.
Well, he was the emperor of this time, of the time when this was built, which is pretty crazy. And not the emperor at the same time as the wall was built in Xi'an or any of that. That wall was built in the year 600 or something like that. So it just shows like the different dynasties and the different eras of China. The crazy thing about this is these guys were in the army, so they were spared. Their lives were spared, and the terracotta versions of them were made. But servants and their families were buried alive. 70,000 people, 70,000 servants, cooks, cleaners, those sorts of people were buried alive with the emperor at the time in this area, which is scary to think of. I wonder if they were buried alive, like if they were entombed.
So I read that the emperor was never opened. Do they know where it is?
I don't know if they know where it is, but were they people buried alive or were they entombed?
I don't know, but I read that it's not discovered or not opened where he was either.
Wow. If you know, in the comments you can tell me, by entombed I mean, were the people that were buried alive, were they like, okay, see you later, and they had dirt shoved on top of them, or were they like locked in these tombs and they lived a life, like they lived a life until they died of suffocation or starvation or whatever inside the walls? Because like, wow, that would be insane.
I still can't believe this is only about a third of them, but they've only uncovered.
And we've seen less than 1% of them.
Yeah, I think there's about 8,000 of these, and then like 160 chariots and whatnot, and they've only done like 2,000 or something. Can
you imagine? Like, would you rather be buried alive or would you rather be locked in a tomb for eternity?
Well, not eternity, until you die. Wait, so buried alive is in under rock?
That's what I'm thinking. It says, all the history says 70,000 people were buried alive. Were they buried alive or were they locked in this complex?
I reckon locked, and then they died when they died. Hunger or something.
I'd rather just get buried alive.
No, because that's scary.
Would there be no like laws? There'd be no like police? There'd be no one. Like, imagine what sort of shit went down.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been like, you know, all sorts of horrible things would have happened in there. And it's crazy, like you think about it, like, that's 2,300 years ago, and those people probably believed they were doing the right thing. And even now, people blindly follow, like, political leaders and stuff, like...
So why were the 70,000 people put in there?
I think to be his, like, servants.
In the afterlife or whatever?
Yeah, but he was dead.
Okay.
I don't know. It's real. I need to do a lot more research on this.
Yeah.
I know the basics of most things, but anyway, this is the scene here. Not as busy in here.
No, it's also not as big. It's a very
Yeah.
small little.
Should we go on to site 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So you can see here when they found them. They're so we see them in terracotta colours, but they actually were painted when they were put under the ground, and that's the colours they were painted in. So some of them have been refurbed in that image. I'll show you one up here. You can see they had blue, red. A lot of them are painted different colours. Hands holding onto things. Even the hands had skin colour painting on them. That's pretty crazy. So now in the second pit, and it's quite interesting. You can sort of see this answers some of the questions from earlier about what this place was like in terms of a tomb scenario, as opposed to just a burial site. You can really see the setup here of the tomb and the current excavations and things happening as you look around here. It definitely makes a lot more sense as a site. Here you can see some of the details of the wall. As I move through here, this is built, it's hard to wrap your head around it from the point of view of someone who's just watching or who knows a little bit about it. It's not just, they call it Terracotta Warriors because that's what's famous, but the whole complex is a giant tomb in the shape and I guess effigy of his palace, his quarters. So he wanted to recreate where he, oh, come back camera. He wanted to recreate where he lived as part of this, right? So he wasn't looking to just build somewhere for him to be buried, which they haven't found yet, which is crazy. But he wanted to rebuild his life to take to the afterlife with him. And this shows you more of that than any of the other sites do, I think. This is pit 2. You can see how it looks similar with the little dens and the warrens and the little streets and things you can climb into. And you can see stuff down here. Let me zoom in for you as well. You can see in there that, yeah, this really is a remake of what he lived in. And the people that he had employed, whether he had employed them or not, let me just put this camera back up on my actual face, whether they'd employed him or not, he had these people here as part of, you know, his army in the same way he did in living times as well. I'm trying to find some space to go vlog, but there's no space in somewhere like this. When I look down there, it's hard to see on camera. You guys will have to come and see it. There's wheels and things down there alongside knocked over bodies and stuff, so it is insane. But you can see a clear and definite wall here, and that to me indicates, if I see the wall and the carvings in it and the steps leading up to it, you can see that it's probably significantly deeper than that. And that is a place that's insane to think about. Absolutely crazy to think about. That it's not just a site of Terracotta Warriors. It's a recreation of his life to take with him to the afterlife. And people lived in here until they died. You can see there, that's half a horse, and he's sticking out of the wall. So these structures here that are these walkways that they're using as walkways, that's not a structure that was put in place as part of the palace. That's just what they've dug. So you can get a bit of an idea of that this flat part here was everywhere, and then this is dug out of it. And maybe these sloped parts are a roof, or it might just be where they're at so far as they dig their way through. But because that is a half of a horse in there, we can tell that this was all at one point flattened nothing, which is mind-blowing. Archaeology is so interesting, but I don't have the patience or the ability to be an archaeologist. I would get so bored, not bored by discovering things, but bored by not discovering things. I'm being tested a little bit now. There's just a lack of care for other people when it comes to Chinese tour sites. It's disappointing because the people here are genuinely and generally very nice, but the care for others is at an all-time zero. I can't imagine being at a site anywhere else in the world and people like elbowing you and shoving you and pushing you and like putting their cameras in front of your camera to get the shot, and just it's absolutely brutal. And like, people are lovely in every other scenario, but when it comes to whenever they've got to figure out something for themselves, it is rude, just genuinely rude stuff. Anyway, there's the missus. I might have boosted too far away from her then. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I think every culture can learn from others, and obviously I've never lived in a country with 1.5 billion people. There are many things that China gets right. They look after their elderly really well, the family unit's really good, but just the etiquette and behavior when it comes to just not caring about others in a public place is mind-blowing to me. But hey, it's what travel's all about. Cultures are different. But that's something that puts me off a little bit from going to tour sites here. I don't mind the crowds of people. I've done it in India and Bangladesh, but in those countries, people, they don't move out of your way or each other's way, but they don't. In China, people would rather like shoulder barge into you and jab you in the ribs to get the spot than just wait 2 seconds, whereas that wouldn't happen in those places, I think. But oh well, here's what it is. Doesn't ruin a trip. Just makes it frustrating and makes you want to go to less tourist sites. But that was nice. I like that. Did you like that? Yeah. That was really cool. There's a little gift shop.
It was like $20.
Have a look. There's a little gift shop.
I'd rather go to the toilet.
Okay. And then you step outside and you're reminded of how beautiful China is, and that's the reason you've got to come here, you know. It is such a lovely place. Look at the mountains. Who wouldn't pick this site to be like buried in, right? You gotta go in there?
Yeah, I also need a toilet before we go on the
There is one on the way out.
Hour drive back. Is that one over there?
Yeah, there is one on the way out. Alright, I'll wait for you. There's coffee in there too. In there. Alright. Who wouldn't pick this, right? So, in the end, good place to go. Yeah, definitely worth coming and seeing. Sorry if my rant puts you off a little bit. It just gets quite annoying, like getting jabbed in the ribs and pushed out of the way, and something just flabbergasting to me in terms of that sort of stuff. But I'm very grateful and happy to be here because, like, have a look around at this. And that's it here from the site of Terracotta Warriors, which has been a pretty awesome experience to see, quite educational for myself who loves this sort of stuff. I am more of a modern history buff. When I say modern history, I mean the last 150 years to 250 years. That's more of where I enjoy. We're soon going to former Soviet countries in the next couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be where I can really give you guys some of my expertise and the stuff that I've studied and enjoyed. But if I got anything wrong in this video, please feel free to respectfully correct me in the comments. I'd love to learn from you, but I'm not an expert. I don't know everything. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.